All right, we'll give it a second to notify everybody that we're here. Unfortunately,
Yes. I hate
with
it here.
with juror number one.
I, I hate that I'm
Juror
doing number
number
one.
one. Listen, at least you're the mayor of the jury house,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Ugh.
we are here. Yes, I guess this is a spoiler alert. If you're not part of the live chat, if you're not following along, last night, unfortunately, we lost Chandler.
Yep.
Sent out the back door, pretty convincingly in the end. Chandler, how you doing?
Oh, I could see the writing on the wall after Christie won the veto, so it wasn't super shocking. But gosh, it sucked because I felt like I'd really positioned myself well, and it kind of all blew up in the matter of it felt like 12 hours.
And it really did. Unfortunately, like it really did.
I knew with as many alliances and like connections I was making, I knew I was like there was always the chance it would happen. I thought I would have more of a heads up it was happening and could go to work to try to save it. And ultimately, I mean, Justin wouldn't even tell me he was putting me up until it was already submitted. Like I tried to call him after and he was like, well, I already submitted it, so there's nothing I can do now. And so it was a little frustrating. People weren't really talking to me after it was submitted, and the people that were not being honest with me. Which it's a game, I get it, but at the same time, it's like if you're voting me out, which if anybody saw my video, I was the only one that told me yes, I'm voting you out, and I respected that completely. Like if that's what's best for your game, do it. But I just don't think it makes a ton of sense if you're sending somebody out the door to tell them you're saving them, or that you are trying to get the votes, but they aren't there when it's obvious you're not. But oh well.
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely circle back to this because you had a very compelling end to your story. But I want to take it back to the beginning. You know, firstly, like this was your first long-term org. What were some of your thoughts? What are some of your how was your experience in this game?
It was a lot more time consuming than I thought it would be. Like I knew going into it could be, and I guess I should have seen this coming because I'm very competitive. Like I'm going to put in the work if it's a game. Like that's just me. I can't help it. So I should have seen it coming, and I did to an extent, but like I didn't realize just how much constantly throughout the day it would be. And that was tough with like working too, because I can't keep up with it during work when I'm teaching a class. Like I don't think my administration would care for that too much.
Right.
So that made it difficult, but I think this was a good group for me to be with because a lot of people had jobs. A lot of people were working throughout the day. So it wasn't like you were falling behind tremendously or anything if you couldn't message much throughout the day, and people were pretty understanding. So that was good. And really after the first few days were very overwhelming. I will say that, just not having experience doing it, 18 people trying to build some type of connection with each person so they don't put you up if they get power. That was difficult. But after that, it really did settle down, and I kind of got into a groove where it didn't seem like it was like taking over things by any means. So I really did enjoy it. I don't know if it's like if I would do one of these again just because of the busyness of it all. And like I would just have to be at a point.
Go finish your statement because I got something to say to that.
I was going to say I'd have to be at a point where I could really put the time into it. I did not choose a good time in my life to play this game. Teaching and finishing up my master's degree online, working on like my final project was probably not the best time to decide to play, but I also don't regret it because it was a ton of fun. And if I ever,
I'm pretty sure this is Alex, but again, Alex.
Hi, Alex.
You got to give your permission to StreamYard.
But I loved it though. I loved every second. If I were to ever play again, I would play this game over anything else. Like,
well, that's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna say. Like, I mean, I totally get the like needing a break from the game and doing it. Like, but like, I want to see Chandler 2.0. Like, your game is so fascinating. you throughout basically the entire pre-jury had a really good grasp, in my opinion, on what was going on, what was happening, what were the moves that were being made. I feel like you made a lot of the correct decisions and you made a lot of the correct moves for your game. Was that your strategy going in? Did your strategy that you ended up using align with how you thought you were going to play the game?
To an extent. I always said that pre-jury, I was not going to be the person trying to go out and like be the person taking charge of making all the big moves. I think I threw every comp I played in except for the one that me and Dan won. Up until I did kind of try to win the last HOH I was in the house for, I felt like that was kind of a crapshoot at that point, just because I didn't have a good read on where some people were going. And that was my fault. But I did not want to be the person that was like up front making all of the really big moves. I wanted to be the person behind the scenes influencing the moves. I said that from the beginning. Now, I will say my strategy changed a little bit because I kind of played a little bit of kind of a swing vote, kind of, I don't like the word floater because it has a negative perception, but kind of floater in the sense of I felt like whichever side had the power, I could go over there and be in with them up through the pre-jury. And that was not what I really expected to do. I kind of expected to have relationships with people, but really just a tight few people I was with. But the opportunity kind of just presented itself, and
well, yeah,
I'm not going to say no.
Let's name Chandler's alliances. Okay. We have 6-6 strong.
Yes.
We have. You're gonna have to help me because there's.
I
don't want to spoil one that I'm not supposed to say to you.
Okay, so we had 6-6 strong.
Yeah.
We had the Reckless Ops.
We
had the Mafia. We had, which I'm still really mad about the Adam vote, by the way. He should have been. He should still be in this house. We had the Penthouse.
The Penthouse.
The Straight Shooters.
Keeping score. This is 5 for anyone keeping score at home. This is fun. And this is like, if I'm doing my math correct, this is like out of the potential 18 members, this is like 12 or 13 people that were in an alliance of a group of some sort with Chandler. Like, and then you just like would see him pop up right where he needed to be, like, hey, blah, 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 oh, hey, you know, like, and it was really fun to watch. Like, I was like, I remember telling Josh at some point, I said, I think Chandler's playing one of the best games right now because he's really well insulated by a lot of people, and I don't think anybody knows that he's doing what he's doing. And if he doesn't get caught, like, he's gonna be fine. Well, you did, and you almost outed yourself at one point.
Yes, I did.
With you.
Oh, talking about that.
This is not uncommon, so don't feel like bad about it because this happens all the time in games. But you posted in the wrong chat.
But I will tell you that, like, honestly, the rest of that message should not have made the rest of the people in that chat nervous, because the message he's talking about, for anybody that doesn't know, I sent in the Reckless Op chat, which had Lee in it. I nervous about Lee. And
which was like, I think the secondary chat was like everybody else in that group minus Lee, if I believe correctly.
I don't think I was.
Maybe not. Chat. Huh? No, the one you were trying to send it to.
Oh no, the one I was trying to send it to was just a PayPal.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't like it was like another alliance. It was really just to someone in the group, but it made all of them nervous even more. I think about me. Surprisingly, I think Lee was the only person that didn't get too upset about it.
I would, that I'm trying to think.
I don't think he bought my story, but I think at that point Lee realized I have to trust Chandler because nobody else is like wanting to work with me right now. And by the end of it, I didn't really feel like I could do much with him either, because I heard he was throwing my name out there. I don't think that was true now because it came from Justin. I think Justin completely made that up, but I believed it at the time, so good on Justin.
Yeah. So I personally, as the host, have to tread carefully as we go into this boot episode of yours, because I don't want to give away anything that may or may not influence your jury vote. But we've kind of alluded to the fact that, like, for your game, where it went wrong was that just like the right people cross-checked their stories. and you got busted and you got caught. Was that something that you felt like was inevitable? Were you going to try to ride the middle as long as possible? When were you going to choose a side in this game?
Yeah, so I was going to try to ride the middle as long as possible. I was. What really kind of alerted me that things may not go my way doing it that way was actually the Adam vote, because I knew at that point that K-Pow, Anthony, myself, and Chris, and I can't remember the numbers now. It's been a few days ago, but like K-Pow and Anthony though both said that they were going to save Adam no matter what, because we had that mafia group, and K-Pow was the one that we had the power. We could have made the vote either a tie or save him. I can't remember, and then Davey would have sent. Who was he up against?
He was up against.
Was it Macy? It was Macy.
Macy.
Yeah, and then Davey would have sent Macy home. So I knew me and K-Pow had the votes to save him. Well, the Reckless Ops group was against the idea of saving Adam. And I didn't, that was actually when I accidentally sent the message about Lee as well. But I did not need to get their votes. I was fine not getting their votes. I was fine going against them at that point and just coming up with a way to explain it or throw it off on somebody else. Like, I was fine with that. And I told K-Pow that. Well, she did not want to go against him. And specifically, she didn't want to go against Justin and Dan, who I'd heard she had been in a group with from Will. No, it was Will, so I took it with a grain of salt because he was throwing out all kinds of stuff. But I'd already heard that. And I knew that she knew Justin coming into the game. So that showed me, okay, she's not actually, like, she sat here and told me that she was loyal to this group of 4 until the very end of this game. Mm-hmm. And the first chance she gets to save one, she doesn't do it. So I was like, okay, so I can't trust this. That shows me she's also closer to Justin and Dan than to me. I already know that Lee's on the outs. So at that point, my thought process, now based off of hearing some of their goodbye messages, I don't think I was completely correct on this, but my thought process was that there was a tight 3 of Justin, K-Pow, and Dan that were then using me and Blake as kind of just extra votes, and then Lee as their meat shield. That was my thought there. And so I was like, well, this group isn't going to keep me around long term. So I need to make a decision. Well, at that point, I had not been super honest with Davey and Crispy up until that point. I didn't straight up lie to them. They never asked me if I was in any other groups, but I didn't come to them giving them information. But at that point, I realized, okay, this is my path to the end. I'd heard from Lee already that people were nervous about me because they knew I had a connection coming into the game with Davey and Crispy. So I think it was inevitable that people were going to assume that we were together, even if I wasn't working with them. I tried to reassure people I wasn't working with them, and really up until these last day or two, I was good. Like, I even said to Alex and a DR, I don't know if it made it on an episode or anything. I told him at that point that K-Pow was my number 1. Like, she was who I trusted the most. Mistake by me, but that was who I trusted the most at the time.
Right.
And so at this point, though, I realized that is not my path to the end. Like, that may get me to final 7 if they will even stick around with me that long, but I know I'm at the bottom of that group. And I said from the beginning of this game, if I didn't win this game, take me out wherever. Like, I don't care about just getting far. I play to win. And so at that point, I realized, okay, I've got to stick with one side and just go with it. So I went to Davey and Crispy that night and completely blew up all of my other alliances to them, because my thought was, I trust that they will not go and share this, because they are 2 people that I fully believe would be completely honest with me, and I think were. And then also, if they eventually hear about this, I've gotten in front of it. I've told them they don't think I was going behind their back. And I went with them and said, we can pull in Anthony and Mark because they're also on the bottom. Like, they don't have any of they are not in these groups that I'm in. And I can see what's going on this other side. So I did that, still acted like I was in with that group, and got Davey and Crispy to be completely okay with that by telling them that I would just give them any intel. And I did give them some.
This is where I might push back a little bit on you.
Okay.
And it's just from a game. This is nothing personal, obviously.
Oh yeah, I get it.
so there was a little bit of drama on your way out the door between you and Blake about him saying that the previous relationship that you guys had, was affecting the game or was impacting the game, and you were very resistant to that statement.
Well, I'm not going to own up to it in front of the
right.
I'm going to be like, yeah, I'm tight with these
publicly,
people.
Yeah. And so I want to give you a chance to like private, like now that like no, like is that still something that you like are adamant that was against, like even though considering that you blew up every other alliance that you were in for ultimately those two long term. And I think your first DR session or first message to your DR and the game was, y'all really put me and Crispy in this house together or something to that effect.
I am truly being completely honest, and I hate saying this because they're going to go back and watch it. Maybe. I don't know. They probably don't care to watch my exit interview. But I really was, and I told Alex this in a DR, again, a few weeks ago. I don't know if it made it anywhere. Mm-hmm. But I really was completely okay working against them. I didn't want to early because I knew they were on the side. Like, I wasn't going to purposely try to get them out early because they were votes that would have kept me. But I really was for the first, I would say early up until like 2 or 3 days ago, not 2 or 3 days ago, probably like Friday. I really was completely okay working against them and going to the end. My 4 I wanted to go to the end with, I think I said this in a DR, was me, K-Pow, Anthony, and Adam. That was my 4. Now, did it affect me in the sense of I knew I had a group I could fall back on if I had to? Yes. Like, absolutely. I love Davey and Crispy to death. Like, I've met them. Yes, it's true. They actually did vote me out first in the game and only played 15 minutes with them. But I connected with them after the game and like we just formed a really good friendship.
And there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm not like coming at you and trying to like fault you.
No.
There's nothing wrong with that. Pre-existing relationships affect everything. And especially in the org community that is small like this, and you come from the Sequester community, and you see that in Sequester how previous relationships affect everything. Like, yeah, so like there's no fault there. I just wanted to give you the opportunity to say your piece about it and where you stood on it and all that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I was okay with turning against them if I needed to for my game because again, it's a 3-week-long game and a 5-hour game. Probably would have stayed loyal to them to the end because it's 5 hours. You aren't going to build relationships with people. But I really did feel like I was building real relationships with people in the game. So I would have been okay with it. It's just that I got to that point where I felt like this is my path. And maybe I was incorrect in that read. I'm not saying that I was correct in it. But I think that I think that was my path. And honestly, I still was not going to go to the very end if it was possible with at least not Crispy, because we saw in, what's the name of the comp?
The touchy subject.
Yeah, touchy subject. I saw in that comp that if he made it to the end, he was winning, no question.
Yeah.
So like I still was never planning on actually going to Final 2 with him. I told him I wasn't. I don't know why I'm telling him this like now because that's just going to make him upset with me. But, I don't know. There was definitely truth to there being the connection. I'm not going to say there wasn't. And there was definitely truth at that point that, yes, I was working tight, like completely closely with them. That was my like group there by the time Blake said that. But at the same time, when Blake's saying it to the house, I'm not going to be like, yeah, you're right. I'm not going to.
No, for sure. And you have, I think I just wanted to address it. So, okay, I want to move forward. Like, you're out of the game. What for you are you looking to see as the game finishes up over the course of the next 10 days? What are you looking to see from the person that you want to vote for as the winner of this game?
One, I want to see people playing hard. I want to see people playing for themselves. I'm tired. Like, I get it the first few votes that you may want to just vote with the house because that's an easy way to put a target on your back. But at this point, vote for what's best for your game. And part of that's coming from a selfish reason that if 2 people had done that, I would have at least forced a tie and made somebody show their cards. Like, I know I would have still gone out, but at least it would have made it entertaining. So part of that is selfishly, like, I just wanted something. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, like, if you let people control your vote because they're threatening you, it's showing that they have control over you and that you're scared. Like, I mean, that really is what I'm saying. So Anthony was the one that I addressed in the video without saying his name for anybody that saw the video. I don't know if people have seen that or not. I don't know what people have seen.
It hasn't been out. That episode's not out yet.
Oh, okay. Well, you'll know what you're talking about when the episode comes out then. But
you basically said he was playing scared.
Yeah, but I didn't say his name because I really do want him to do well. If he can recover from this and really play his own game from here on out, I would love to give Anthony my vote at the end. I think he came into this game unconnected from the sequester community, which had a lot of people in this game. And he was kind of an easy person to go after from the beginning. And he's built social relationships with people. I think I don't think he gives himself enough credit either. Like, I had somebody else in a goodbye message say they were working with him and that they were working together in this vote, not that they got him to flip. If he had told me that, I would have respected it a lot more because it's like, okay, you had another group. I can't say anything about that. I had like 4 other groups. We just talked about it. Like, I completely respect that.
Right.
So I wish he would give himself some more credit instead of just saying, I have to go with the house. Because if he wanted to take me out, go for it. Like, I've always said that I don't take any of this personal. Like, my video, I called out some people, but that's just because I love the game and I want to call out some games as I leave. Like, some people don't like that. I do. It makes people.
I love it.
It makes people work. I want to see people work and play hard. But none of it's personal. Like, all these people, like, I will be friends with each and every one of them outside of this game. Like, I didn't take any of it personally. I hope none of them took the video personally because I tried to make it very clear that it was all for fun. That like they're all great.
Yeah. What so 2 questions. Who do you think is going to win? Actually, 3 questions. Who do you think is going to win? Who do you want to win? And who's like the underdog that's gonna or the dark horse winner contention pick?
All right. So who do I think is going to win? I think Dan. I think he's in a really great spot. I'll probably say that, and he's probably like going to be on the block tomorrow. I have no clue what's going on in the house right now, but
I'll tell you. I'll tell you in a second.
Okay. I think he's in a really good spot. I think he's playing the game that I wanted to play, where he has some bigger targets in front of him, but they're making the moves he wants. Like, he straight up told me in his goodbye video that he wanted me out this week over Crispy. He threw the veto competition so that Crispy would have a better chance at winning so that I could be put up as the replacement nom. And I respect the heck out of that. Like, if you can make those moves to get me out, good for you. Like, that's impressive. I love the game. Like, I really do. Like, if somebody makes a good move against me, I hate it. But there's also the part of me that's just like, that's awesome. If, like, you got me out in a good way.
Yeah.
So I think Dan's in a great position because talking to people, I don't hear his name come up as a target much either. And he's a very good talker as well, so I think he'll be able to explain his game if he makes it to the end.
Okay.
Now, who do I want to win? I mean, it's got to be Davey or Crispy. I want them to win. I don't think they have much of a chance at this point, unfortunately. I would love to see him pull it off somehow. Davey, I think, has a small chance because he's the type of person that, like, if you get to talking to him, you just can't help but like him.
Yeah.
And you feel like you trust him. Crispy, I think, would have to just win every comp he's playing in, essentially, at this point, to have any type of chance, just because everybody's scared of him. As soon as he's on the block for eviction night, he's gone. And then Dark Horse. And so we're not saying people that have no chance here, right?
I mean, you're welcome. This is your exit interview. You wanna throw some shade, honey? Go for it. Like,
I mean, I'm not trying to throw shade, but I mean, I don't think there's any way Macy gets votes at the end of this game.
Okay.
Like, sweet girl, and I mean, I enjoyed the few conversations I had with her, but her social game with people she wasn't working closely with was like non-existent. I'd message her and wouldn't hear anything back for at least a day. And she keeps saying that she wants to do things to gain respect in the house. And I want to see her really take charge and make a bold move somehow, some way. I don't know what it is. I just want to see that from her. If I saw her turn it on at this point, that's like, maybe I could consider giving her a vote. But right now, the perception of her in the house by everybody I've talked to is just that she's somebody that side of taking along to try to take to the end because she'd be easy to beat. Now, maybe that's a strategy. Maybe she is really thinking long term and she's planning to turn it on in jury. If so, I'd love to see it. So I guess maybe she's a dark horse in that sense, but I think at this point, the perception of her in the house is so much that she's kind of the GOAT that it's going to be hard for her to change that. That's my concern for her. I really would like to see her do well because she seems very nice. She's fun. But actually, true dark horse. I'm going to say Anthony. I think he has a small chance. I think he has a good story if he makes it to the end.
Cool. Anything else you want to say? This is your last time. We'll hear from you. Fingers crossed we're doing a jury roundtable. I think we're going to do it, but until then, it's the last time we're going to hear from you for a while. So,
that's depressing. I know it's depressing for the viewing party because I'm sure I'm like everybody's favorite, the generic white guy over here. Everybody loves him, right? No, but anyways, this has been a ton of fun. Like anybody that hasn't played that's wanting to play, I'd fully recommend playing. If I were to ever play again, I would want to play another season of this game. Nothing else. Like y'all do a great job running it. Thank y'all for the time you put into it. I can't wait to go back and watch what happened in pre-jury and just see what was going on that I didn't know about, and see. I'm sure people were throwing some shade at me as well, so I'm excited to hear that. But for this has been great. I cannot wait to see how the rest of the season plays out. I really, really, really wish I was in that house to be doing something about it. I didn't think it would be this frustrating to get voted out of an online Big Brother game until last night hit, and I was so frustrated. And then today hit, and I was like, wait, I don't strategize with anybody today. I'm just stuck in this little jury chat all by myself. Yeah. But I'm excited to welcome people into the jury house and maybe slightly question them about their games when they.
I'm sure y'all will talk. Okay, 2 things to wrap it up. Number 1, K-Pow won HOH today. She nominated Macy and Davey.
Wow. So they're back for Crispy. It's a backdoor for Crispy. 100%. That's what they're trying to do. Did the veto players get picked yet?
Yes, but I haven't seen them because I've been talking to you. So I don't know who it is.
They're trying to backdoor Crispy here. And if they can't backdoor Crispy, unfortunately, I think they take Davey out because he's a number for Crispy. They're playing so scared of Crispy, and it's frustrating to me. Not just because of a connection with them, but even if you're scared of R3, okay, I'm fine, get one of us out. But why target the other 2 at this point when there's for K-Pow, and I think she just doesn't see it because honestly I didn't see this group in the game, so I guess I can't really blame her. But I was told in the goodbye message that there's a 3 of Dan, Gwen, and Justin that have been creating side alliances and running the game themselves.
Gotcha.
And I think K-Pow doesn't realize that she's out of that. Now, Justin probably would be loyal to her anyways because I think they probably all 3 will eventually gun for each other because they know that they have the best arguments. But I really wish K-Pow would take a bigger shot. Still maybe attempt the backdoor on Crispy. I just don't really understand if that doesn't work, taking Davey out if that's what they end up doing. But that's me also being biased. I'm not going to try to say I'm not. I want
that's fair. And that's fair. And then we all have bias, so that's very fair.
But I was going to ask a question. I'm trying to remember what it was.
Yeah, go for it.
What was it? Oh, no, I was going to make one other comment. Gwen, I don't know how I left her out as potentially winning.
Okay.
I said back from her when she survived that triple eviction with only 1 vote, not to save her. I was talking to Crispy and I was like, Gwen's scary. She is very well connected. If she in a double eviction, not triple, but in a double eviction where 2 other people on the block only got 1 vote against her, every other person wanted to save her. I said, that's scary. She's still we have to look out for her, but she's sliding under the radar. Nobody is talking about her as a target, at least not from when I was in there. So Gwen is somebody else I would really look out for that I think has a really good shot at winning this.
Gotcha. All right. Well, the only thing I have left to say is I really loved watching you play. Really appreciated how you kept everything game, was never personal. But I have a personal thing I have to say to you. How come you never added me to any of your MFing chats?
All right, I'm telling you, Josh told us add 1 to 2 members of production, and we'll add the rest. When I realized you weren't in there, I eventually went and added you.
There was one day, I think Chandler added me to like 6 chats that he had for days that I was not involved in. And I was like, literally would walk in everyone and I'd be like, I know exactly who started this alliance, or I know exactly who started this chat.
Blame Alex and Josh, okay?
I think Alex is taking some ownership for it, but I still want to I'm still going to drag Chandler a tiny little bit, but it's fine. It's just for fun.
At least I eventually added you.
You
it went from you thinking I wasn't playing the game to realizing I was in 5 alliances at once.
That is very true. And I was like, oh, my eyes have been opened. So, no, I'm just kidding. But Chandler, thanks so much for playing the game and playing so hard and giving us some time tonight to talk through it with you. It was really, really fun time. So,
well,
we appreciate
thank you for having me. Felt like I still had a lot of game left to play, so it was a little disheartening going out so fast. But
Chandler 2.0 confirmed. It's gonna happen one day, ladies and gentlemen. One day.
Maybe in the spring. Maybe in the spring.
All right. We'll see.
If y'all have
Awesome. Well, let's see. Let's housekeep. Veto is happening today and tomorrow. Another eviction tomorrow. Probably another interview tomorrow night, or maybe sometime on Friday. We'll see. But for now, thanks for watching. This has been a next interview with Chandler. Juror number 1. Bye, everybody.
Bye, y'all.